Hi, Shalom from Israel, and today we continue our adventures in C language. So in our past video we learned how to generate a lot of monsters and create like fighting system, basic fighting system when you could fight with the monsters. Monsters data, we have it in the structure, so it's coordinated, hit points, and it's time for us to create staircases, so it will be possible to go deeper into the dungeon for our character. But before we do it, so we will add some more functions. So we see we made like 3 functions: dungeon generation, dungeon drawing, battle function, and also we have our main loop. So if you have somewhere a lot of code, like more than your screen, it's good idea to create a function from it. So let's take all this stuff from here. Let's make it like even let's take it like this, and we would create a function. So this will be function action, player action. Let's make it like this, p action. So it's when player put some pressed some hotkey, and this function here will be int p action, like this, and we'll just copy paste all stuff inside. So let's move it with shift tab, we move it a bit to the left, and what we should give to this function, I think we need give to it all this dir y, dir x stuff. No, we do not need to give to it dir x, dir y, dir x. We just need to give it basic stuff like control, rows, columns, and map. So let's do it. By the way, you always could check. For example, in battle, we do not use rows for now, but later on we will use. So there is a warning. So we do not need to do anything with it for now. And here, to this player action, we would give such parameters. Copy it from here and add character. Let's start to check. Yeah, it works. So you see now we have much better code in our game loop, much more readable. So another thing which we could do is spawning, like spawn player and spawn monsters. We would also move it to separate function, so our code will be even more plainer. So we would call it spawn creatures, creatures, spawn creatures. So we would put this function here on top. Later on we will move these functions to separate modules, separate files, but for now it's alright to have them here as we do not have too much code. Spawn creatures. Yeah, nice. And to spawn creatures we need also to give map. So we do not need to give control, but map we would need to give like this. You see, it's very easy to create functions actually. New coders, new programmers, they afraid about a bit to create them, but actually it's nothing too hard. It's more hard for us will be to, if we would have such functions in different files, it will be a bit harder, but for now it's alright. So you see our game loop now, it's very minimalistic, so we have we generate dungeon, then we look for player action. By the way, this spawn creatures, we could move it here. So with functions, it's much easier to follow the code logic. So generate dungeon, spawn creatures. If we have certain action performed by player, we do it. By the way, it's include battle function, so we could like mark it with a comment. Then we draw everything, and also we print our UI. By the way, this printing UI we could also move to dungeon draw, so to this function. You see, it's not a big function. Yeah, so all drawing will be inside. Later on, I think we would make additional function for UI, user interface, but for now it's like this. Yeah, and it works. So what we want to do now we want to create a staircase. We want to make a staircase, so when player will step on the staircase, he will be able to press the button, such button. So let me show you this button, this hotkey, and move to the next dungeon. So it's what we're going to do. First of all, we need to generate it. So we go to the dungeon gen function, and we will add this dungeon coordinate. I think actually, yeah, let's move it from here. We could add it right into the room generation. Yeah, so this first filling of the map, it's all right, but after we kind of generate our room, we will generate also our staircase. And to generate staircase, we would use very simple way, like we used to generate anything, like we could take it from here, for example. So in this place, we will generate stairs. By the way, this function for dungeon generation, we could also kind of split it in several functions. It will be actually a good thing to do, because right now you see it's very huge code, so we could have separate space. We could have separate functions for generating each section of this function. So first we fill dungeon function, then we could like room placement, then we could have function for checking for collisions. But for now it's all right. We would maybe we would add these functions later. Let's for now create our stairs. So how to create stairs? We will generate simply two coordinates. So it will be, what we have? We have here, okay, let's create, we have here room coordinates. We could actually reuse this, or we could create just our own new variables, create y and x, just in case, or even call it like stair y, stair x. Yeah, then it will be much more readable. Would have it like this. Yeah, and actually, yeah. So we could make not do while but while cycle, but if we already have this one, let's have it. It will be very simple condition. So if sy sx, if it's equal So we would generate while it's not equal to space, empty space. The thing is that we need to generate staircase at any place where we have empty space. So if we would have empty space, then this cycle will end. And then, then we will add it to the database. So map sy sx equal to, so we will add to the database our stairs. So this is very small code to generate stairs. And now we will need to draw it. You see, it's quite big function. Yeah, it's already kind of good thing to move project and to separate files. So we wouldn't need to scroll so much, but we would do it a bit later. So now let's add generation of stairs. So if we have such symbol in our database, please draw it. Okay. Yeah. Let's check. Okay, you see we have our staircases here. Again, yeah, it's generated in proper place. Another thing, it's we need to create way to follow the staircase by a player. And also monsters, they shouldn't be generated at stairs. Okay, they're not generated, they're generated only at empty slots, which is nice. Then we go to action, function, player action. And here we add a new case. After we checked for player directions, we look into, yeah, by the way, I forgot to check. Let's check first how our character interact with the stairs. It's funny. You see, we generate loads of the stairs. I love such moments. It looks very funny. You see? Yeah, you could actually create a game which will be based at such mechanic, and you will have to exit the dungeon while it's populated with a lava, for example. Yeah, it's funny. Run. So yeah, let's change it a bit. Where is it? Dungeon again. While a room not equal to 0, room placed. Okay. And room is equal to 0 actually here, it seems, for a long time. You see R placed? It's equal to 0, so where it changed? Let's find. Okay, it's changed here. So actually, we should move it a bit up. All this stuff. It should be here. It's good that I tested it beforehand. Yeah. Should be like this. Let's test. Yeah, now it's better. Let's get. Okay, and now we can't cross staircase. So first we need to allow cross staircases, and this we do in here in player action. So if it's an empty, we just redraw it. If it's equal to some other project, I think even we will make it like all other stuff. For example, we would have traps later on. So in all other cases, I'm not sure, did we check for walls, for example? No, we do not check for walls. Okay, but then we would rather make it, I just use Ctrl Z, Ctrl X, Ctrl Z. Yeah. Okay. Then we would just add simply this condition here, because we have also walls, so we need here check for walls. So I think it's better to have different ways to interact with the stuff. For example, when you stepped into the trap, anyway you will, for some traps they just, it's like a pit. So when you stepped into such pit, you will go to next level immediately without possibility to perform an action. So as we right now have staircase, we have some special behavior for it. So if we have staircase, then we should be able to move our character there. The problem is, you see, we found the problem that if we move to this spot, we will kind of remove this staircase, you see. So we put to the database, we will put not the staircase, but our character. So it's kind of design problem. There are two ways to solve this problem. First of all, we could just create a new array where we put all staircases and all kind of objects which lay on in the dungeon. So right now in our map array, we have like everything. And as we draw players separately, it's kind of a problem. So another way to do it, not if you do not want to create a second array, it's just move player separate. So if we would make a player being separate, so if we wouldn't add player to the database, then it will be kind of much easier. So I think we will just we will draw player separately, because it's kind of simplification of this stuff. Yeah. So if this way we wouldn't need to struggle with it at all. Yeah, so it will be like this. If it's empty, or yeah, before we do it, let's start with small steps. Let's remove it for now. First of all, let's remove player which is added to database right now. So we do not want to add player to database, and we do not want to change terrain when player step into the database. Instead of this, we will draw players separately. So we will take this stuff, we would also remove it. So we would interact, we'll perform player action separately after we draw the dungeon. We would do it. We can't do it because we have separate coordinates for player. So let's take it. Okay, it works, but you see we have this small problem that the place where players spawn, it's kind of appear on the podium. You could say like this. But the good thing, yeah, we will fix it. The good thing that now we could step into the stairs, and they, oh no, we can't for now. Yeah, because I didn't make it. We will do it, but first let's fix the problem when player appear on the small stone. We will just make it free. It will be empty floor. To do so, we will make in our spawn creatures, we would make it like this. Yeah. Okay, we did it. And now let's allow. You see, now we changed behavior. We made very serious change right now, because right now our player, we do not include it to kind of database, to our array. So it's kind of separate, and it gives us possibility to simplify stuff while you want to interact with objects. For example, traps or this staircases. So it's kind of, there could be another approach, as I said. So you could just create several arrays, but I think it's much kind of better for, in our case, to have just coordinate of the player, not to have like several arrays which we have to fill, and yeah, it's just easier way, and it will do for now. So now in our interaction player action, we should change here stuff a bit. So if we have here something like staircase, we can move there. Yeah, let's test it. Yes, and you see it do not disappear, because with our old system it would disappear after you would step into it. And right now our player character cursor, it's independent, which is fun. Now we need to add interaction. So we would add a new else if here in our control. So else if our character, if player pressed this character, then we should kind of move to the next level. How to do it? It's very easy. We would just make all this stuff, we would just reset it. Where is it? Yeah, here. Without declarations, just change variables. Let's test. So we should go toward the stairs, and ta-da! You see, we changed level. So it's kind of, we go downstairs. The problem is that when I press to go down, we have to wait one turn. So it will change only after I'll perform one more action. If you played, for example, NetHack, you may notice such behavior there. And how they deal with it, they just add here like a prompt which say, welcome to the next level. Actually, it's possible to deal with this problem in different ways. First of all, the bad decision is to use go to mark, and you could do it only within one function. So if you wouldn't have all these functions, if you would have everything in your game loop, then you could use go to, because go to it works only within one function. But it's bad design actually, because it's very dangerous and it's hard to debug it, so it's better to avoid go to. But sometimes it's all right to use it when you need to exit several cycles which put inside of each other. But we would use a simple way. We would use NetHackish way. We will just give a prompt that, okay, welcome to the next level. We will use return. So we have this function, player action, and you see by default it's not returning anything, which is kind of a bad thing. So let's then change it to return 0. And here, as we want to kind of reset, what's the problem? That we have in our main function, game loop, if player pressed this button to go down, we actually continue. We first of all draw the dungeon, then we put, yeah, we just draw the dungeon. It's all actually drawing the dungeon. Draw player, let's call it. And then we have another loop. Why? Because here we have game loop in the do while cycle. So it will ask us for another hotkey. That's why we need kind of wait a bit till we do it. By the way, we could actually move this getch to our cycle and make game loop also return this value. It will be actually a good design, I think. So we could do it like this. Yeah, let's first move it. We take c равно equal to getch, and we say like this. So we would take player action here, yeah, because we give to this function c, so it exists, and we kind of give player possibility to input inside of our game loop, which is more properly designed. And if our game loop, if player pressed escape, then it will end and game will over. So it's kind of a better way to go. The problem is that actually we should do it like this. Yes, it's not possible. How to get something from the function? You need to return it in C language. So this C, it will be, which we initialize here, it will be like this, and we do not need to send C here. We would only return it. So it will get from our game loop an action. Remove it from here and put it like this. And we could say player input. Okay, so player input done, and then we should return C. So we return player input. It's better, by the way, not to write player, but write P. It's kind of the same thing, much more easier to read. So player, it's a P. It's kind of traditional thing to roguelike games. Okay, so let's check it, and we have our endless loop. Why? Of course, because we need to get a player input just at the end. Yeah, like this. Okay. Yeah, so now it looks much better. So we use our main game loop for all the stuff. And we learned how to return values. So now we would use the same principle with returning values, but we will do it in player action. Yeah, here we have when player will press go down staircase, we will return 1. So in normal situation we will return 0. But sometimes we will return now, and it means that we need to generate a new level. So in our main game loop, which you see it's very short and very nice. So now it's so much readable, beautiful. So now we need to make a new variable here, which we will call, it will be Boolean, we will call it new level. And we would assign to it player action. So new level equal to player action. And in player action, we will return here 1, if it's a new level, and 0 if it's just regular level. So if we would return 1, then a new level, then if it will be a new level, we will clear UI. Let me check. Does it work? I'm not sure. Is it clear? You see, we have some warnings. We will fix it. Oh, is it clean? I do not recall. No, it's clear. So if it's a new level, we'll say that clear it, please, and we will print here a message. Move add character in the middle. I think let's write in the middle. So calls rows equal by divided by 2, calls divided by 2, and we will say here, by the way, it would be not character. How it is, it will be move print v. Okay, let's take it from here just. So we will print rows by 2, calls by 2. Welcome to the next level. Welcome to level 2, for example. And we would call it like the level. It will be a variable, new variable, and it will be global variable for now. Int the level. And by default it will be 0. No, it will be a 1, because when you just start to play it will be 1. Yes, and it will be, we will also kind of increment this level. If we would get next level, we will increment it, and we will increment it before, so it will be printed right on. Let's check. Okay, I forgot something. Yeah, of course, we should actually, first we need to draw the dungeon. Oh, actually, yeah, we could make it like this. Else if. Else draw the dungeon like this. So it's a new level, then show the stuff on the screen like this. Let me just show it to you what we just did. Ta-da! Welcome to level 2. Okay, looks fancy. So now let's move to the next level to see what we'll have. Welcome to level 3. Awesome. The problem is that actually it will be fun to draw not only, we have very small UI, we draw only gold. So it will be fun to draw also, so we will press tab here to draw dungeon level 2. Like in NetHack, maybe you remember in NetHack they draw dungeon levels. So we would add here the level. I do not recall, is it? In one word. Let's check. So you see now we have here UI. Gold, dungeon level 1. Very unusual, by the way, dungeon layout, I like it. And here, well, if we go down, you see in our UI, we see that it's dungeon level 2. Another thing which I want, actually I want to not to make this black screen, loading screen. It's kind of alright, but yeah, it's a bit boring. It's better to put it on the top line. So let's make top line a special line for the UI text. like in all roguelike games. To do so, we first go for dungeon generation, and we will fill this first line. So if y0, then we fill it, yes, but we wouldn't draw here. So we do not need dungeon. Again, we need a dungeon draw here. We will just hard code this stuff. Yeah, actually, yeah, we need dungeon again. Because we need to make second line perma walls too. To do so, we say that it's y0 or y equal 1. Let's check. Y equal 1. Ah, yes. Okay, it should work. But what we have in dungeon draw? Yeah, you see? Actually, we could simplify this stuff a bit and use only database. It's kind of stupid stuff we have here. Quite stupid stuff. So let's make it properly. We do not need this anymore. Yeah. Okay. So you see we have 2 lines here, which is proper, and here we also need second line. Now we go back to dungeon generation, and here we just fix a bit. Yeah, by the way, I understand why I did it. Here, actually we need it. We need this stuff. It's all right. So what we will do, we will say that if y1 y equal to 0 or y equal to rows, we will use why we have this thing? Ah, yes. Okay, I already have it here, you see. So it should be like this. If y equal to 0 or actually it's better to add comments here, you see. It's kind of hard for me to read it. And if it's something confusing for you, you should always add comments. Empty floor, monsters, stairs, perma walls, UI, normal walls. So now it's kind of a bit bigger, but it's much easier for you to get into it. So dungeon draw. So we want to draw if y0 or y equal to rows. We want to draw. Okay, it should be upper. We should make it beforehand. No, after stairs, but before perma walls. Okay. Now we have proper UI, and our top line it's empty, but it's filled with perma walls in our database, so nothing will spawn here. And here we will add our line actually. So this line, we will put it to rows 0, call 0. And we will say like press any key to continue. Not any, because escape it's a bad case, so let's press enter say. Okay, let's test. Okay, nice. The only thing that, yeah, now we do not need to redraw everything. We could simply, see, I'm reverting this stuff because we could just make it here. Ta-da! Yeah, because we do not need to clear a UI. We just need to put one line. Okay, let's do this again. Yes, welcome to level 2. Press enter to continue. Press enter and you continue. So this looks like NetHack. It's like NetHackish design. It's simple, but yet effective. Not bad. Of course, you could change it, you could rework it. But this is kind of simplification, which works. Thank you much for watching. In our next video, we will continue our adventures in C language. Please subscribe to my channel, press likes, write your comments, questions. I'll be very happy to communicate with you. Bye bye.